So, my story didn't start off out of the gates as somebody who instantly lays hands on you or is vulgar with their reaction or words. My story and my relationship actually started off with romance and sweeping you off your feet. And maybe like most would think a fairy tale. So I thought. Well, growing up, I was daddy's little girl, and everyone would attest to that. I was also the tomboy, also the girl that my dad never had, and always wanted to help him around the house and do the boy things. And then in turn, when I was inside the house, I was very much the cleaner. Wasn't so much the person or the girl that made food, but I love to keep things clean and orderly and decorate. Um, I have two sisters, so I'm the middle of three girls. My mom and dad were hard workers. They worked. We went to school. They gave us a good life. We went to private school, then public school. Grew up with a lot of friends, healthy relationships. Seeing our mom and dad in the home was, I didn't know anything other than going to church and seeing your mom and dad dance in the kitchen and play music and turn on cumbias, or even like Marvin Gaye on the weekends, and we were cleaning the house. I thought, to me, it was a typical upbringing. We even had like a rough patch we hit, where my dad got injured because he was a carpenter and in Vietnam, so he had some old injuries and his back went out on him. And my mom had never worked, so they switched roles. My mom went to work and my dad was kind of like the house mom. And so we lost everything. We lost it all. And at the time, as a kid, going from like private school to public school, or losing the house with the pool and all the things, you think it's tragic, right? It was hard, don't get me wrong. We were then went from that to selling chili at the swap meet. Yeah, I was that girl that sold chili at the swap meet. But I can honestly say it was a pivotal time in my life growing up, because it made me who I am. It made me see things differently. It made me work harder. It made me clean those tools really good so we could go home if we sold all of Dad's tools. It made me learn not to get the New Mexico chili, put it in the bags, and then touch your eyes, because your eyes are going to sting the rest of the time at the swap meet. It made me appreciate and take care of my clothes. It also made me see the struggle that my parents went through. And that didn't feel so good. They didn't share a lot with us, but you just saw it on their face. And if they talked about it, it was like at night when they thought we were asleep. And so I wanted to work hard to make my parents proud. And if that meant cleaning or helping contribute to the household income, that's what I chose to do. And I wore that with pride. Looking back at it now and the work I've done on myself, I've learned that also created a people-pleasing personality trait. It isn't always the best. And with that, I might have had the cleanest dog run so that when my dad got home, he could say, "Wow, you did a great job cleaning up the dog poop." The trash cans are going to be hard to move because I think I put the whole thing of dirt in there too, in the whole yard. Or cleaning the pool. So I just wanted him to see me and say, "You did a good job." Or my mom, the way I clean the house. or my sisters, I put tape down the middle, and they can attest to this because I kept my side of the room clean. I was tired of cleaning their side. I mean, if we worked out a bargain, I would. But growing up, I learned that number one, I wouldn't change a thing, even the hardships we went through. And I also learned that I enjoyed making people proud of my abilities to be able to do things for them and taking the weight off their shoulders. Whatever that capacity I was able to do as a child, whether that meant crawling underneath the house, military style, because my dad was a Marine. And in my house, in order to get like the satellite dish, yeah, guys, for all you youth out there was no cable. That was satellite dish for us. So we had to crawl underneath the house. I did. The chosen one. I had no idea what was under there. It was dark. I mean, I could have swore I heard a snake. I don't know. But you just do it because you needed satellite to watch TV for the rest of your family. And I remember getting scared, but you didn't say no. And just did my military crawl to the other end of the house, underneath the house, to find where your dad was poking the wires through and connect that. Or on top of the roof where you had a swamp cooler. Yeah, AC throughout the house wasn't a thing. So I'd get up on the roof. It was scary. I was young, a little girl. But remember, I was my dad's little girl. And hold the hose. Who remembers holding the hose in the swamp cooler? In order for us to have a cool house. For when my dad got home from a hard day's work, or you live in the IE, it's hot. We're talking 100-degree digits plus, and yeah, you just did it. I remember one time my dad came home from work and I painted the whole porch because I wanted it to look clean, and I weed whacked the whole yard because our lawnmower wasn't working. Yeah, that was me, the little boy they didn't have. And then I picked up with the local boys in the neighborhood baseball card collections, and my cousin. And they tried to get over on me. Like the boys would tell me in the neighborhood, I'll give you these 4 cards for your 1 card. And then I knew something was up. So I would go back to this thing that they call a Beckett. And I would find out how much my Beckett was worth. And I said, oh no, they're not going to ever do that to me again. So at that point, I chose to probably stay up all night. Parents didn't know when they fell asleep, turn the light on. And I would organize all my baseball cards by team and how much each one, because I looked through my Beckett card and I would put the price tag on there. So the next time we were going to sit around in a circle with the boys from the neighborhood and swap cards, I was going to know better. And from that point on, I did realize, and I learned that respect is earned and not given, especially in at that time, a boy's world. Well, now we know as a man's world. Respect is earned, not given. Even then, I had learned what it was about and the importance of knowing and knowledge from a little girl's perspective, and now a woman. So looking back on my younger days, middle child, I have an older sister who liked to get in trouble a lot. You know who you are. And I was her roadie. Like, I went with her everywhere, and we went down together. Got in trouble together. And these were some of the things that not every kid goes through, but let's just say we had ditching parties, aka she did, but I was there to support, clean up the mess. so she wouldn't get in trouble. There were shootings. Um, a lot of stuff that we saw young growing up. And I don't know how my parents did it, but a different way of growing up. Um, and I wouldn't change that for the world either. My older sister was very much motherly, very much looking out for, very much ride or die. And that's who she was. They called her Mama. And she still is to this day. I wouldn't change that for the world. I learned at that point what it was like to have loyalty and respect for one another and to really ride it out together. If you're going to have something and go through something growing up, you're going to go through it together. We have a lot of things we went through and a lot of secrets we kept just so that she wouldn't get into trouble. I mean, we wouldn't get in trouble, because if she got in trouble, I got in trouble too. And cousins. My younger sister, she loved to play Barbies, and she would tell me, hey, will you come play Barbies with me? And I wouldn't want to play Barbies, so I'd say, look, I'll get the room ready and set up and design it for you, but I'm not playing Barbies. And she was good with that, as long as we got that part down. But a lot of innocence growing up that I could remember in those days with her. Riding bikes. She loved her little 3-wheel trike. I had a great childhood. And amongst the ups and downs, amongst the trials and tribulations, amongst the losses that we encountered, from family members to financial, to my dad getting hurt, to my mom having to go to work, to my dad essentially raising us. You know, I remember being a cheerleader in school and having a competition, and my dad was the one doing my hair, bow ties, you know, the only dad there. Or soccer games, and there was my dad on the field, no other parents. My dad was there. My dad is my hero, my best friend, and unfortunately we lost him several years back. Oh, God. I know he saved me. I know he saved me even in my story. I know I would not be here talking to you now if him being my angel wouldn't have saved me. Thank you, Dad. My mom, strong woman, strong old woman. She's our prayer warrior, and I know a lot of you know who she is and how she prays. We've grown since we've lost my dad, and they traded roles. She's become the pillar for our family and the prayer warrior. I don't know what I would do without that woman. She's a strong woman, and I'm honored and blessed that I have her. I'm honored and blessed that my children have her, that our family has her, because she's one heck of a prayer warrior, and I know that our prayers are being listened to and heard because of her. This is my story, my life, and my foundation was built off of who I was as a child and who I am today. Resilience, strength, faith, empowerment, and family is the catalyst to my story. I didn't get here on my own, and I didn't get here by staying down. I got here because of my family and who I was, and my foundation and who I am today. So just a little behind the scenes of who Kat is. Part of my story.